her sales are generating the economy. Are they, or are people just putting it on Afterpay, Klarna, and all that stuff just so they can afford to go to a concert that they've already seen this woman be at how many years ago? Their whole relationship is PR and it's a setup. I don't know why people can't see that the NFL, MAGA, and the military all are intertwined. Let's be fucking for real. Hello? Why do you think that everybody tweaked out so hard on Colin Kaepernick for kneeling at the national anthem? I'm telling you, it's deeper than that. People just spend money to spend money. And this is why sometimes I'm like, I like being a frugal bitch, because it teaches me to be humble with my money and that my money can be going other places. Jumbo everyone, welcome back, and in today's video I'm going to be talking about She's a Billionaire, Not Your Friend, and why Taylor's album is flopping. So without further ado, let's get started. Hopefully I'm not sent a cease and desist letter, so everything in this video is alleged, okay? And I also don't need the Swifties coming at me. Everything in this video is an opinion. It's an opinion. So I really don't need people coming at me, but what I have been seeing is that everybody is critiquing this album down. And I just want to say it's giving rice and chicken, no seasoning, just boiled chicken and calling it a day. And I think for too long, Taylor has been able to get away with this shit. Let's be fucking real. I'm a hater, not a liar. So anyways, when looking back at her discography, we can see that she started off with country and then she made the transition into pop. And if y'all are here for the whole timeline of Taylor Swift and all that stuff, that's not what I'm here for, Bookie, okay? Obviously, I'm here to talk about the microaggressions within her fucking album and how it's just not landing well because you look like a hating ass bitch. I am so glad that everybody is finally waking up to Taylor Swift because it's giving like a cult. We all know that. The amount of money that this woman has, and I know that, you know, especially when somebody tried to expose her jet usage, like, why are you using a jet to fly 15 minutes when you can just drive an hour? Like, and this is what I'm talking about. Like, she is a billionaire. She's not your friend. And that's the brand that she's been going off of for so long, because obviously who is she being relatable to? Middle-aged white women who have this God complex for her that she can do no wrong. And in this case, babes, her true colors are finally showing. Like I said, Taylor has been able to get away with making bland, basic music for a while, and that's cool for her because she knows that at a certain point, you guys are gonna keep eating it up because you've been eating it up for however many years. But this is where the issue starts to come in, where she isn't relatable anymore. Taylor is in her mid-30s. I don't even care to look up her age. She's 35. She hadn't been in like a really long-term serious relationship in a while. So this is why, and I've been saying it for a while, but I was just waiting for the perfect moment to make this video, is that their whole relationship is PR and it's a setup. I don't know why people can't see that the NFL, MAGA, and the military all are intertwined. Let's be fucking for real. Hello? Why do you think that everybody tweaked out so hard on Colin Kaepernick for kneeling at the national anthem? I'm telling you, it's deeper than that.
I'm a TV writer and I have kind of a crazy theory about how this organization is using these four people and also potentially this company in its conspiracy with the GOVT to fuel white nationalism. I'm going to pitch it to you as if it's a TV show that I'm creating. Let's strap in. Let's start with the foundational building blocks of this narrative. Building block number 1. The Shield is comprised of 70% black players, 100% white team owners, and about 70% white viewers. Building block number 2. The sport and the Shield are not just entertainment. This is a military pageant. It is a hyper-patriotic reality show. Football is America. It is Americana. That association is very much on purpose. Building block number 3. There is always a face of the Shield. I'm not talking about the best player in the game. I'm talking about the establishment golden boy, the main endorsements guy. Until 2023, it was him. And before that, it was them. All white, all QBs. Those are the building blocks of the world of this story. Now let's talk about this guy. In 2016, he uses his platform to protest this. And because the Shield is so closely associated with patriotism and by extension the military, it spins the protest as anti-American. Eventually the protesting player gets released, doesn't get re-signed, but by that point he has aligned himself with this guy. And it seems like this guy is going to have his back. Until 2019, when that guy makes a deal with this guy, who is besties with this guy. The Black Moguls company is now going to be responsible for providing all entertainment for the largest, most watched show in the country. The deal also includes a way less exciting social justice initiative that the Black Moguls company will also be overseeing, and we can assume that that is essentially to pacify the Black audience. The shows were a huge success and majorly upstaged the social justice initiative. Meanwhile, the player who started the protest completely fades into obscurity and doesn't get to come back to the league. And then it's sort of ironic when the next year the Shield starts painting this on all of its fields. Essentially, it torpedoed the protest, blackballed the person who started it, sent a message to all the other players not to do the same thing, and then co-opted the message. Clock that as an MO. So now let's fast forward to February 2023 when this guy announces his retirement for good this time. He has been the face of the league for years, and he represents a foolproof archetype for the Shield. Good-looking white player plus famous white wife equals massive brand value. Now that he's officially retiring, the golden boy role hole will be empty, and the Shield is going to have to fill it as soon as possible. The annual championship game is a few days later, and it's the first time in Shield history that two brothers have faced off against each other. This is a big deal to hyping up the game, and also it boosts both brothers' public profiles. Now at this point, this guy is widely agreed to be the best player in the game, and he's a QB, so he seems like the perfect fit for the Golden Boy, but one problem, he is not white. If you're not familiar with the one drop rule, look it up. So at this point, we all know what happens. The Shield chooses to go with the white player who isn't a QB rather than the mixed race one who is. It becomes clear that he's the face of the league when he starts publicly courting the most famous white woman in the world, and it actually works. And it's at this point that his cultural relevance seems just completely astroturfed. Either way, it doesn't really matter though, because the partnership is super lucrative from the beginning. She is going back and forth between tour stops and stadiums to watch him play, which is creating countless viral moments and cultural relevance for her. He makes $30 million in endorsement deals just in the first year, and the Shield makes $1 billion in added brand value from this romance. Okay, so then in March 2024, she releases this album, which feels suspiciously patriotic, especially given the political climate at the time, but she presents it as an important examination of Black musical history and also an opportunity to reclaim Black space in country music, and her fans, by and large, support. So then during the tour, the internet is flooded with images of her fans, who are mostly Black people, wearing Americana looks, American flags, to the music venues, which are by and large football stadiums. That December, she gets a whole halftime show of her own, which has its own marketing campaign and streams live. Y'all, I'm so close to putting this all together, I promise. Thank you for sticking with me. Okay, so now it's August 2025. This brand releases an ad campaign starring an actress, and it is clearly eugenicist and white supremacist propaganda. A couple weeks later, these two announce their engagement, which also happens to coincide with the promotion of a few of their projects, including his collaboration with the aforementioned clothing brand, which had the eugenicist and white supremacist ad. Here's the logo for the brand. Shortly thereafter, she announces her partnership with this company, which for the past almost year has been widely boycotted for ditching DEI practices. So now he's publicly aligned with a company that's making white supremacist ads, and she is publicly aligned with a company that's erasing diversity. And in September 2025, we get the pictures of these two sitting with these two at the gala event, which raises major questions about King and Queen Bee's politics and loyalties. And last week, his granddaughter releases her new line of merch. This is the logo. Does that look familiar? Because that is also his exact logo from his partnership with the white supremacist eugenicist ad company. So she is supposedly offered the big 2026 mid-game show. She supposedly turns it down, and it ends up being this guy. Now, something I want you to consider is who is in charge of the entertainment for the show, and whether or not it feels likely that that person would have approached this artist. So now this guy is going to do the show, which seems like a big FU to white America because of everything that's been going on with immigration this year. But I actually think it could be darker than that when you remember the Shield's proven track record of silencing protest and then co-opting it. This is an artist who just a few months ago was very publicly protesting the United States by refusing to bring any of his tour stops here. A final piece of the puzzle, she releases this album last week. It is filled with racial dog whistles and tradwife/conservative propaganda. Okay, so that's the backstory, world, and characters of our show. Let's get into the season 1 story. So one of the most important things that I need to establish for the audience is how intertwined the Shield is with the government. The Shield is essentially the government's main propaganda arm. And because of that, we'll see how important it is for the Shield to maintain a white face, because the sport is America. When you think of American people, they want you to think of white people. When you think of America, they want you to think of white America. So when season 1 starts, the Shield is already aligned with the Black mogul, who publicly identifies as being down with the struggle, but is really all about the bottom line. They offer him a deal, exclusive rights to produce the largest live show in the world, as long as he uses his street cred essentially to get seemingly radical artists to perform the mid-game show. Because these artists are guaranteed to inflame the white audience, it will make the audience of color feel like they have power within the league. Meanwhile, the Shield uses its relationship with the Black mogul to co-opt his own wife. In my series, they incentivize her to release her all-American Americana album by offering her a deal on venue costs, because they're all football stadiums, essentially using her to manufacture Black consent for patriotic imagery and, by extension, patriotism itself. In story arc of the season is the Shield trying to identify and then install a new Prince, Golden Boy, face of the league, someone who represents their push towards the alt-right. We'll see everything that goes into not only making that decision, but also brokering the merger between the white football player and white America's sweetheart singer, and how the Shield incentivizes both of them to lean into the white nationalism of it all with their extracurricular projects and brand deals and partnerships. I also think it's going to be really interesting to see the arcs of the two female celebrities who, because they're now aligned with the Shield, are essentially silenced from saying anything anti-war or really political at all. But then we're also on the flip side of that going to see how, because they're both billionaires, they're essentially evil irrespective of race, because all they care about at the end of the day is enriching themselves. So season 1 is really about showing how the Shield is like a secret branch of the government, and about the lengths the Shield is willing to go to manufacture its fans' consent to maintain a pro-war, pro-patriarchal, pro-white supremacist status quo.
I also never fell for it because that man Travis likes Black women. Why are we denying that man his true love? If you look at the track record, all of Taylor's exes are going after Black women. Harry Styles is dating Zoe Kravitz. Kravitz. You know, y'all, I don't care about Taylor Swift. I just wanted to talk about my opinion because that's where I'm just like, I'm talking about what I've seen, but like majority of her exes have either dated a black woman, they're dating a black woman, or they went for a black woman after dating Taylor Swift. And if that doesn't make you jealous, then I don't know what does. And apparently, allegedly, Travis Kelce was trying to get with Megan Thee Stallion, and that's why she had that weird fucking line, well, I'm not a savage, I'm not a bad bitch. Nigga, you're coming after black women because a lot of your men see the bland shit that you be giving them and they don't want it. They want some flavor. They want some culture. And unfortunately, we all know by the substance of Taylor's songs, she don't really be given much.
Taylor Swift is obsessed with black women. Let's talk about it. Taylor Swift is obsessed with the fact that several of her exes have moved on to date black women, and she perceives this kind of conquering of Travis as an end or disruption of this pattern, and she's boasting about it in this album. Let's start with Opalite, which is very clearly about Kayla Nicole, Travis Kelce's ex-boyfriend whom he dated off and on from 2017 to 2022, and oh, Kayla Nicole happens to be black. The lyrics in Opalite could actually not be clearly more like targeting Kayla Nicole, right? It references a video that went viral a couple times in which Travis is literally berating Kayla for being on her phone. Meanwhile, she is an influencer, so that is weirdo behavior because she was working and it's very controlling, but it is very clear nonetheless that that video is referenced in Opalite. The lyric reads, you couldn't understand it, why you felt alone, you were in it for real, she was in her phone, and you were just a pose, right? Like, Taylor could not have been more obvious and like less creative here. It's not enough to me that like Taylor is using this like crazy like worldwide medium to best a woman that like previously dated her ex. It's also the fact that like Taylor is fully aware that Kayla has received like relentless and racist harassment, oftentimes terrifying, from Swifties in reaction to the fact that she previously dated Travis. So like this is like purposefully and like blatantly violent. This song accomplishes two things at once, right? It proves the fact that Taylor Swift is obsessed with black women and it endangers Kayla Nicole. But obviously our country is not at its best with critical thinking, so let's like analyze a different part of the song, right? So another lyric says, but I'm not a bad bitch and this ain't savage, but I'm never gonna let you down. So in this song, Taylor positions herself as this like unique, singular white flower that is so different from what? Black culture. And once you step back and realize the song is like final boss pick me X racism, you realize that Taylor Swift is preoccupied with like this obsession with black women in part because Travis Kelce has predominantly dated black women in the past, and she wants to define herself as different from his past and therefore better. Again, very weird, very pick me behavior. Taylor's not only preoccupied with this idea that Travis has historically dated black women, it's also the reality that several of her exes have moved on from her to black women, and that confounds and ultimately like enrages her, and she's so obsessed with the pattern and the idea that she had to talk about it in this album. Chris, give me examples. Okay, well, we have Harry Styles, who is now reportedly dating Zoe Kravitz. We have Tom Hiddleston, who has moved on to be engaged to and co-parent with a black woman whose name is Zawe Ashton. And then we have Calvin Harris, who went on to marry a black woman named Vic Hope. So it is a pattern, and Taylor Swift is clearly aware of it because she is obsessed with her exes, and all of that together is making me feel very, very strange. And ladies and gentlemen of the jury, today I'd argue that this idea, the idea that white men have historically left Taylor Swift for black women, is part of her personal mythos, right? I imagine she finds it both confounding and devastating that these men have left her, who is like the pinnacle of Western white beauty, right? She is the ideal white woman. Meanwhile, all of these white guys are leaving her for black women, and I'm sure it's really pissing her off. So when Taylor like secured Travis, she achieved the ultimate feat in her mind. She had convinced a white man to leave black women for her, and the mythos is complete. She has disrupted the pattern, she is the queen bee yet again, and this album is all about her obsession with that weird mythos and her obsession with black women. At the end of the day, you know and I know that Taylor Swift is a deeply calculated and intentional person, right? She drew up these lyrics and this like 8th grade symbolism very intentionally. It's very red-pilled and incredibly macro-aggressive. So I guess the moral of my story here is like, you Swifties, the ones who refuse to call her out on her bullshit are the same exact type of white feminist that she is. You protect bigots and you traffic in and like enjoy anti-black bullshit. And that makes you a bad person. All right, bye.
That relationship with Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce is not real. It's weird. They're two different kind of white people. Him and Taylor, they're like brother and sister, but the brother is so much different than the sister. And when they go to school together, people are like, oh, I didn't know that was your brother. That's what it's giving.
For those who saw my 5 types of white men that date black women video, my comments were flooded with people saying that Travis Kelce was #1. And honestly, it checks out. So let me further expand on my theory and use Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift as an example and provide an analysis of this dynamic. Let's run that back.
He knows in the back of his head when it's time to settle down, he's going to go with what his family accepts, what he thinks is palatable, what he thinks is the norm and the default.
Taylor Swift is a conventionally attractive, skinny, tall, white woman. She is palatable. If Taylor Swift lived in New York City, which she actually does, and hangs out in West Village, which she really does, but she wasn't Taylor Swift, she would have no problem finding a suitor to marry by the age of 32. She is the conventionally attractive, average woman that the majority of men would go after when they are ready to settle down with. Despite the fact that Travis Kelce has a history dating back to 2016 of only dating black women, one of which being 5 years long, but never once proposing to them, it makes sense that now, at this mid-age of 35, although Taylor Swift may not be his historical preference, she is the palatable white woman that he would settle down with, which would make him fall into the category of #1. The only thing that's making it difficult for Taylor Swift to find a suitor, which is what she wants, by the way, because not all women want that, is because she is a billionaire. It's harder for her to find a partner, a compatible partner, because of her income bracket. Travis Kelce may not be a billionaire, but he is definitely wealthy to his own account. Travis Kelce is also extremely tall. He is also very attractive. It makes sense why Taylor Swift would pick a Travis Kelce, and Travis Kelce had pursued her. Now back to Travis Kelce being a #1, Travis Kelce benefits greatly from being with Taylor Swift. At the end of the day, Travis Kelce is a man, and 2, a celebrity. A man will always take advantage of what he can with a woman, and 2, a celebrity will always take advantage of what they can with other people. His public relationship with Taylor Swift has greatly benefited his career tremendously. It put more money in his pockets, it gives him more camera time and attention. People care more about what he does outside of the field, and being picked by her makes his clout and aura 1,000 times better. On top of that, I am very sure that Travis Kelce would want a family one day, as most men do. And Taylor Swift is the best woman when you're looking at on paper and status to have kids with. A lot of men think that way when it's ready to settle down. What do they say? Their light turns on, their taxi light turns on. Travis at the age of 33, his light went out and he went to Taylor Swift. He stopped dating his preferences and went to the woman that was palatable, made the most sense, and will be the best candidate to have his legacy with. Even if in the back of his head he knows that he would not be with her long term, or he doesn't love, I don't know these people. A lot of men pick the nice girl or the sweet girl or the girl who's culturally relevant to him to have a family with. And they'll try to work it out. And if it doesn't work out, at least he did the right thing and had kids with the type of woman that he would want to pursue his legacy with. I'm not gonna lie, Taylor Swift is pretty impressive for any man. At the end of the day, these are all theories and opinions. We do not know these people, but this is a great case study regarding relationships and dynamics. And it kind of backs up my 5 times a white men that date black women, video. Mark my words, I would not be surprised if Travis Kelce gets engaged with Taylor Swift very soon. And or she has children with him. What do you guys think?
And I'm not gonna sit here and not give flowers where flowers are due. Obviously, she has made like a cult-like following and is able to get away with it. At the same time, though, she did come out with some bangers back in the day. But I think that's because she was a starving artist and wasn't a billionaire yet. It's also like very, very rare for a billionaire to become a billionaire just off of music. You know what I mean? Like, I know other people have done it, but like you also have to think of all the other like exploitation things that she has had to do, not just to workers, but her fans, because y'all be eating that shit up. The amount of money that it costs for her to go on tour, the amount of money that she's getting paid per tour, talking about, oh, her sales are generating the economy. Are they, or are people just putting it on Afterpay, Klarna, and all that stuff just so they can afford to go to a concert that they've already seen this woman be at how many years ago? Come on. And I'm not even hating, because y'all know me, literally me wearing my Rico Nasty hoodie right now. This is why I like liking smaller artists, because it's like they actually care about the craft that they're putting in. Y'all know I will always talk about my top 3, Flo Milli, Mana Leo, and Rico. So that's where I'm just like, those women, like, you can hear like the passion in their music. You can hear that because they're black women, they actually have to put in the fucking work to be able to even get a sliver of the same thing. And yes, I'm going to talk about this because I'm trying to manifest so hard. Mana Leo, please come to Minnesota. Y'all, I've been begging, we're going off track real quick. I have been begging Mana Leo to come to Minnesota for I don't even know how long, 2 years exactly. And every time she goes on tour, she don't put Minnesota on there. I'm like, please just go to Amsterdam. Like, just go to Amsterdam. Like, come on. Like, I also need her to stop acting like she's smaller than she actually is. The fuck? Yes, I'm mad at your team, because why the fuck do you only have, what, 5, 6 tour dates? Like, hello? Anyways.
Leo, I don't know if you'll ever hear this or look at this, but I just need to tell you how I really feel, because you really hurt my motherfucking feelings, okay? Girl, you act like us Minnesotans weren't here for you for your little debut thing when you came with Flo Milli, okay? Like, we were hoping that you would come back and that you would raise the motherfucking bar, but instead, you want to act like Minneapolis ain't shit to you, okay? Okay? You gonna put Chicago, you gonna put LA, you gonna put every other motherfucking city but Minneapolis like we didn't show out for you the first motherfucking time. Leo, you really hurt my feelings, and every time I be listening to your music, I think about how you really cut deep by not coming to Minnesota and allowing me to live out that experience. Okay, have a good day.
Back to the point. Taylor doesn't give her fans any substance. There's nothing for her to give anymore, because you're in your mid-30s, you're a billionaire, and you're not relatable. That's why she got married, and that's why she made the caption, oh, your English teacher and football coach are getting married. Ew, why are you are a billionaire. You're not relatable. Like, bro, she's not your friend. I need y'all to stop. Like, this is what I'm talking about with the cult-like following and the parasocial relationships. She doesn't care about you. She only cares that you are filling her pockets with money, okay? I'm getting light skin. No, my melanin's leaving. Like I said, I called this PR relationship. I called it when it happened. Everybody's like, no, they're in love. Y'all, this was all the setup. This was all the setup. Also, like I said, everything is intertwined, okay? I need y'all to believe that, because it's no coincidence that all of a sudden Travis Kelce just completely switches his preference to be with long back Taylor Swift. I don't believe it, because you also have to think, you think he's not getting any benefit out of this? His name, first of all, he used to be popular before, but he was dating a black woman. He was in black culture, all that other stuff. But to completely switch up and change, this is also where I'm talking about in my last video, where your partner is a reflection of you. That goes the same for just people that you surround yourself with. And that's a little bit what I was going into in the comments about, is like, that goes the same for friendships, same for other things. You are who you surround yourself with. That's not, people don't just say that for fun. It's literally like energetic. And as somebody who can feel energy and feel an energy like shift within my body, and like, I just know how to fucking read a room. It's really not that hard, okay? So like with seeing this, Travis, Taylor, y'all are the most unbelievable couple. I'm sorry. Opinion. It's an opinion. It's an opinion.
Ever being a threat to the norm or to societal standards. She is a right-wing politician's dream woman. She's a woman who takes on the title of girls, and has this comrade amongst women, and women believe in her and trust in her and blindly follow her while quietly still sleeping with right-wing men who are literal Nazis, men who are homophobic, and all of these things that she pretends to stand for. The reason why she still sits with them is because she doesn't.
Back in 2024, early 2024, right after she won the Grammys for Midnights, I made that video and I said the reason why Taylor Swift always wins, the reason why Taylor Swift gets rewarded at the highest level by these institutions, it is because they love her, because she does not push the status quo, right? Because she stands for absolutely nothing. She's never going to come out straight out and just be Republican, because even that would require her to take a stand. That would require her to stand for something, and she is weak. Like I'm saying, like that would require her to be brave. And the one thing on this earth, actually the two things on this earth that she's not are brave and sexy. But we'll get to sexy in a second. So yeah, I'm like that's why she gets rewarded. I was like, because she will do exactly what's expected of people. She will throw all women under the bus if it means that she can get ahead, and they love that. And especially they love that because she has a blind following of women who will support her and who will push and encourage her and do what she does. Like I said in that video, she is a right-wing politician's dream. She is a woman of means, a woman who has worked hard and made her own money, and therefore they don't have to worry about her using them for money, while in the same breath being submissive and obedient and quiet. They're a dream girl. A woman who, no matter how much you try and cosplay her as an intellectual, very much isn't, has no ideas of her own, has no thoughts of her own. There is nothing going on in that head except for, oh my God, I love my boyfriend and I can't believe these girls are mean to me. Let's get to the sexy part now.
That's girl power, though. That's women's stories matters. Kayla is the world's evilest woman because she made the mistake of being black and then both dating Taylor Swift's future boyfriend.
I made that video after Kayla Cole's on a podcast, and she was asked directly by the podcast host about Travis Kelce and whether they were still in touch or not, and she answered the question that she was asked, right? And Swifties were having a heart attack and being like, she's such a loser, she's using it for clout, get over it, why are you still talking about your ex? And I said, okay, talking when Taylor Swift talks about her ex is fine. Like, but if Kayla does it, Kayla talks about him, it seems like she's the worst. I was like, but Taylor Swift can build an entire career off talking about her ex, and it's fine, it's girl power when she does it, right? Like, I'm not understanding what the difference is. And the response is what people were like, Taylor has never said a single thing about her, Taylor would never talk about her, so why is she still talking about him? It's just disrespectful. Taylor doesn't even pay her any mind, Taylor doesn't give a fuck about her. Why would Taylor ever care about a girl like her? Just for her to make an album that is full with an album that is drowning in racial dog whistling, right? Where she's basically being like, I'm sorry that I'm not a black bitch. Obviously you like black bitches, I'm sorry I'm not that. Lyrics are, I'm not a bad bitch. We love a self-aware queen, because you never were. No one ever thought of you as that, and you're never gonna be one either, no matter how much you switch up that style. Because I don't know if I was one person who noticed who, when she started going to Chiefs games, all of a sudden she started dressing with a little bit more edge. It was a little bit more video hoe. Where'd that come from? Like, you've never been cunt, so where did that come from? And this deep insecurity that you have that you are not your fiance's type. You are not the kind of girl that your fiance actually wants to be with, right? Because anyone with common sense knows that that's not a real relationship, and he's only with her because it improves his career status, because it makes him more famous, because he understands, he's smart, and he knows. Say what you want about him, but that man has a plan. He understands that football is not forever, and therefore he needs to solidify what the next chapter of his career is going to be like. And dating one of the most famous people in the world will 100% up his resume. It'll make him more valuable, and it has. We've seen the way it's improved his life over the past 2 years. He got to star on a TV show. It has. It's made him a damn household name. But at the bottom of your heart, you knew that if he had a choice to be with any girl in the entire world, the girl he actually wanted to be with was Megan Thee Stallion, because he had made comments about liking Megan Thee Stallion. Megan Thee Stallion is his actual type. And then you go on the song and you say, I'm not a savage, when we all know that Megan's most famous song was called what? Savage. You've never, you know what I'm saying? Who else refers to them as a savage except for that? Now Megan, someone who's done absolutely nothing to you, number one. Number two, someone who has been ridiculed and prosecuted in the media endlessly, tirelessly, right? Misogyny has gone crazy on her for being a victim of something that just happened to her that was not at all her fault, who gets dogpiled on the internet every single time that she breathes and she sneezes the wrong way. And you never once spoke up on her behalf. You never once said a thing like, oh, leave her alone, or sending her love, nothing. And you are fully aware of the kind of fan base that you have and how clinically insane your fan base is and the way that they will go after everyone. And you still threw a cheap shot at her anyways. And mind you, she didn't do shit to you, all because she happens to be the girl that your fiance actually wants to be with. And then I'm gonna have your fans running to my comment section talking about girl power and girls are allowed to feel things and girls are allowed. Yeah, but you're not being a girl's girl because you're being mean to Taylor. She is quite literally being a racist white woman, a racist white woman, which is what she's been all along. Sorry that the rest of you were dumb and you didn't see it. That's what she's been all along. Anybody who's ever dealt with white women has met Taylor Swift and knows how absolutely dangerous women like Taylor Swift are. And that's why I keep my foot on her neck. That's why I don't let up on her. But I was the bad guy because I just happened to have the common sense to see her for exactly who the fuck she was. And when this orchestrated relationship inevitably falls apart, you are gonna find Travis Scott in the middle of the deepest strip club in Atlanta, surrounded by a bunch of big booty bad bitches, because that's where he actually wants to fucking be. Your weak ass knows that. And instead of making music that's about your insecurities or being like, you know what, since I know that, instead of trying to transform myself to be somebody he wants and I actually know he doesn't want to fucking be with me, I should just leave. But you wouldn't do that. Why? Because you're fucking weak. Like I said, one thing in this life that you will not be is brave. And again, no new information I'm gonna say here, but one thing I will want to stop: the days of us calling her an intellectual, the days of us calling her a genius, the days of us calling her some kind of literary genius, those days are done. I don't want to hear that shit again. Misinterpreting and misusing a Shakespeare play for the sake of coming off as intelligent. All those colleges who made college courses based off her, get them to take the classes down right now. Take classes down right now. Let's get our stupid ass to join a fucking book club.
But they're just not believable to me. Like, and then for them to get married, bro, like, this is definitely a contract with the NFL or, you know, the army, military, whatever. Because like I said, those three things are like merged together, which is funny because this is a sign for football. And this is what I mean by they're all merging together, because look at how much money Taylor Swift has generated for the NFL just by showing up to the games. Let's be real. You have to think about it. There is no man like really in Taylor Taylor's lead. She is a billionaire, a woman billionaire. So like, it's really hard to even find someone to compete with you at even that type of level. And that's exactly why I think that this is just like a PR stunt, because he's getting paid at the end of the day. Travis Kelce's like, what? I could date the most, famous pop star, da-da-da. But then at the same time, it's like her album, bro, all the innuendos and all the little like try to microaggressions basically at people. It's like, girl, we can see right fucking through you.
Taylor Swift secretly wrote a diss track towards her fiancé Travis in her newest album, and she is hiding that fact in plain sight. Let me break down why the song Father Figure is actually a threat towards Travis Kelce. A lot of fans think that this song is directed towards a music executive, that it's about regaining her masters back and taking control of her own music. I think that's what Taylor wants people to think. It makes sense, but only up to a certain point. Because there's this line in the song that says, "Who covered up your scandals?" Why would Taylor care to cover up the scandals of some music executive or a record label? Also, why is she referring to the record label as her protecting the family? Let's get into why I think Father Figure is actually about Travis Kelce. When I found you, you were young, wayward, lost in the cold. Pulled up to you in the Jag, turn your rags into gold. Before Taylor met Travis, he was experiencing a period of, and I quote, being damn near dead broke during his NFL rookie year. He was spending an extravagant amount of money on items like expensive sneakers and nightclub bottle service. Eventually, Travis met Taylor, and she was definitely the one who turned his rags into gold. The winding road leads to the chateau. This line is so funny to me because back in May 2024, they were paparazzi'd on vacation at Lake Como in Italy at a fancy chateau hotel having dinner. I cannot get over these photos because when it came out, everyone clocked how staged it was and how weird it would be to be having dinner on the front lawn of a hotel directly in front of the paparazzi. Like, just look at it on Google Maps. They could have sat in the backside of the hotel away from the street, but instead they arranged to set up a table and sat directly facing the front entry gate to a public street. I cannot get over that. It was staged. That's the chateau. Next line. This love is pure profit. Now, before you click away, this is not a Gaylor theorist video, okay? I made a video previous to this one about the life of a showgirl and how it relates to the Tortured Poets department. And spoiler alert, it has to do with Maddie Healy. All right, let's keep watching. Okay, well, I mean, this line straight up says it. It's a business relationship, but I guess it makes sense coming from a guy who had his own dating reality show. I showed you all the tricks of the trade. All I ask for is your loyalty, my dear protege. Taylor showed him all the tricks in the industry on how to become successful and famous, and in return, she asked that he play along with being part of America's favorite couple. They'll know your name in the streets. Leave it to me. I protect the family. This line, I protect the family, repeats throughout the whole song, even when Taylor ends up being the father figure at the end. If this song is about a record label, whose family is she protecting? I don't think she would care that much about a company unless it was her own business with her own reputation tied to it. Labels don't work like that. Well, the family is actually the entire Kelce family. The Kelces have certainly become a lot richer and more famous since involving themselves with Taylor. Travis's brother Jason is getting a lot more business deals and sponsorships, and his podcast is huge. Travis's mom, Donna, is getting brand endorsements and all of these new media ventures, and like honestly weird because like who gives a shit about Donna Kelce? My point is that they're pretty much like the Kardashians at this point. But then it goes, I saw change in you, my dear boy. They don't make loyalty like they used to. Oh, what's happening? Your thoughtless ambition sparked the ignition on foolish decisions which led to misguided visions that to fulfill your dreams, you had to get rid of me. If this song was really about Scott Borchetta, the head of the record label, why would he want to get rid of her to fulfill his ambitions? Wasn't it Taylor that wanted to get rid of him to gain independence and control of her music? I think at some point, Travis probably thought that he didn't need Taylor anymore to be famous. I think that this is referring to the leaked PR document last year that Travis and Taylor were going to break up. Travis's PR firm, Full Scope, is the same PR firm that is owned by a guy called Jack Ketzian, who has admitted in the past to making up PR relationships to boost a lesser-known celebrity's profile. In fact, he co-authored a whole novel on this tactic. Pia Malihi, who is Travis's main PR rep, apparently called up someone at the Daily Mail when this PR document came out, and she screamed at a writer saying, and I quote, "We have been trying to keep stories that this relationship is fake out of the media for a year now, and now this." And then she went on to threaten the Daily Mail that they needed to toe the line, otherwise they would lose some exclusive access to them. So yeah, personally, I think this document was real, and that Travis's team, who is far less experienced than Taylor's, freaked out over it and called it fake, that the relationship was planned to end. But it's not ending, unless Taylor allows it. Whose portrait's on the mantle? Well, Taylor's now engaged to Travis. She is integrated into the Kelce family photos. She basically made them everything that they are today. They owe it all to her. Who covered up your scandals? May I present Travis's controversial old tweets that, for some reason, never really took off and got him scrutinized and canceled the same way that Maddie Healy did. Also, anytime Travis or Jason are caught doing something no good, like yelling homophobic slurs or going out clubbing with known cheaters, Travis immediately has to jump on a plane to attend the Eras Tour so that the focus is on, oh my god, did you hear that Travis was at the Eras Tour last night? He's such a supportive boyfriend, how cute, instead of whatever the controversy was. Mistake my kindness for weakness and find your card canceled. Taylor knows how much Travis has profited from her. If he steps out of line and breaks the PR image, he will lose all access to money and opportunities that Taylor has given him. I was your father figure. You pulled the wrong trigger. This empire belongs to me. Taylor is in charge, not him. The whole relationship is meticulously planned and arranged by Taylor. Please check out my other video of why I think the promotion for the life of the showgirl is all a show. The Tortured Poets department was the last time we saw the real Taylor, and all she wanted was just to date Maddie Healy in peace. This stuff now with Travis and Taylor, I think they get along on a day-to-day basis. They're probably good buddies, good friends with benefits. All this to say that personally, I've always felt that Travis and Taylor had a very odd transactional relationship. This song is a threat for Travis that if he steps out of line, he will be tossed to the wolves like a bad Taylor ex. So yeah, something's up. Now the question is Maddie Healy aware of any of this? Personally, I think he is, and Taylor and him are communicating on some level. And Denise Welch, who is Maddie's mom, is super messy and has been posting Easter eggs for Showgirl a year in advance. But Maddie is a wishy-washy guy, so we'll just have to wait and see. I feel like Taylor's got something up her sleeve, and the truth will eventually come out.
On the theme of what the Showgirl is, all of this is part of it.
To save myself, I'm not listening to the album. I'm not. I'll get what I get from TikTok videos and all that other stuff, but I'm not listening to the album. I'm not forcing myself to suffer in that capacity. But just even what I've heard from some of the music, I'm not a bad bitch, I'm not a savage, like just these little things, and then talking about being dickmatized and like all this other stuff, that's why she's flopping, because it's not relatable anymore. Girl, you're 35 and you're trying to talk about memes and all this other stuff. What? And this is where it's like, you're gonna talk about the life of a showgirl. The life of a showgirl. As someone who like absolutely loves the movie Burlesque, and that was my gymnastics floor music for 2 to 3 years, as somebody who loves like that type of like jazz and that vivacious music, basically, apparently what everybody was saying is that there was not one track on there that showed that jazzy, and you even talking about the life of a fucking showgirl. This was you putting together a sloppy ass fucking album and being able to be like, they're gonna eat it up no matter what, take it. Like, so that's where I'm just like, Taylor, you're fucking lazy. And as somebody who puts out an album year after year after year, y'all, I would much rather wait for an artist to actually like build their craft and work on an album before they actually put it out. That's why it's like, okay, yeah, put out your little EPs and your little, you know, one single here and there, but like you dropping an album damn near every single year. And I get it, some people have the craft to do that, but it's like, when are we doing quality over quantity? And I know a whole bunch of people are gonna try to be like, well, concerts boost the economy, more people are spending money, it actually helps. Babes, we have seen so many times people using Afterpay. Like, I even ask people, I'm like, how are y'all paying for this? They're like, babes, Afterpay. Whoa. If I can't pay for it in full, I'm not doing it. Which is why, like, I feel like nobody has delayed gratification anymore, and why everybody feels like, you know, oh, I'm gonna be in the pit, basically what that Tara girl said, and has no conception of, you don't actually need to spend $16,000 to see an artist that you've already seen 5 times. Like, you know what I mean? So that's where I'm just like, if that's why I like my little niche artists, because their tickets are like fucking $50. For these like bigger artists, it really gotta take something in me to like be compelled to go to an artist like that. But at the end of the day, like, I don't know, I like smaller artists, and I don't even want to sound like that person, but I feel like that's why I'm sometimes like not culturally like up to date with like the most popular people and the most popular songs, because I'm just like if I listen to it, I listen to it. But like, I don't know, like, and I do have to get better at that, because obviously if I want to become a concert interpreter, I kind of need to know music. But at the same time, it's just like, guys, she keeps putting out these albums, because what do artists typically do after they put out an album? They go on tour. So that's where I'm just like, she's making y'all spend your money and go into fucking debt, because isn't this what like a whole lawsuit was over Taylor Swift and her fucking tickets on Ticketmaster? So I don't even want to hear that shit. I'm right. I'm just saying, because like, this is what I mean by I appreciate liking smaller artists, because even though I had to drive fucking 5 hours round trip for a Rico Nasty ticket, I still got a fucking two VIPs for $200. So that's where I'm just like, you guys are spending your rent times more, putting your shit on Klarna, Afterpay, all this other stuff to go see Taylor Swift perform some basic ass music. And I get it if you've never seen her before, but there are people who have been to her tour like over 10 times and will spend that money no matter what. And like I said, I understand, as somebody who literally spent $160 on merch, like, I understand. At the same time, you don't need to be going into debt just to see your favorite artist. Because she's that big, she will go on tour again. I promise you that. And people will still eat up her tickets and still buy them. Until then, do y'all not see the consumerism that she makes y'all like consume as being a fan of hers? Apparently she came out with like a collection that was like 24 different things or whatever, and this one had a bonus song that like, she makes you guys buy stuff to get the littlest fucking crumb from her that makes you seem like an exclusive fan, and people are willing to spend that money. And this is where I'm like, how are people in credit card debt? How are people like, why do people have the same things that they do? Y'all see, like, I have been in the same spot, not even like saying it like that, but like, the only thing that has changed with me is my hair, my background, and everything of that sort. I'm still filming on the same camera. Canon Rebel T5i that I have had since 8th grade. And that's where I'm just like, because I see something and I'm like, I don't need it. This camera still gives me crisp quality, and I don't see myself using any other camera until it breaks magically somehow. But that's where I'm just like, people just spend money to spend money. And this is why sometimes I'm like, I like being a frugal bitch, because it teaches me to be humble with my money and that my money can be going other places. Obviously, y'all have seen me buy like vlog cameras and the DJI and all that other stuff, but that's because I'm investing. I use my tech every single day. And with concerts, I get it. It's an experience. You want to be able to, you know, experience a concert, go see your favorite person. I'm not flacking that at all. What I am talking about is that we have to be careful with the consumerism that some of these artists are performing, because it's like, Taylor, you are a billionaire. Like I said earlier too, why do you need to go and fly 15 minutes for a show? You don't. Drive. Get a tour bus. Like, oh my God. You could get the most decked out fucking tour bus, living fucking lavish. But because people want to take the easy way out and they don't care about the fucking ozone layer, that's what they're gonna do. People need to be more careful when it comes to the consumerism that Taylor makes y'all experience. And even just like with this album, the microaggressions, everything like that, I know that y'all have been seeing the videos that I've been putting in throughout, but at the same time, I'm just like, I'm glad y'all are finally waking up. I'm glad that we can stop being like, oh my God, Taylor, oh my God, she's so amazing. Like, calm down. It's okay to love an artist, but when she's been giving y'all nothing for the past, what, 5 fucking years? So hopefully by the end of this video, y'all Swifties aren't like, you know, trying to tear my ass up because I had an opinion, and it's okay that people have differing opinions. Again, we could see that somebody even brought up like Beyonce, and when they were going on, like, you know, they were both on tour at the same time. Do y'all not, why do artists have to make a movie? Like, make it a documentary, but like, I don't know. I just think like it's even more of like a money grab. And like, when you're that rich, if I had that much fucking money, do you know what I would do with it? First of all, I would just be giving that shit out left and right, but being like, you gotta put my name on it though. You gotta put my name on it. That's all I ask. Like, cause that's the type of legacy that I want to create. Oh, they needed books for their school. Boom, donated $50,000 because it ain't shit to me. Like, you know what I mean? Or just like renovating a whole school. Like, why do billionaires not want to do like good and then be able to slap their name on it? If I had that fucking much money, was that English? If I had that much money, y'all, oh my gosh, like I feel like I'd be humble. Give me that much money and see what I would do with it. Pay off all my bills, pay off other people's bills for fun. Like, I would want to be that bitch. Like, at the end of the day, be like, damn, Reese did help a bitch out. I think I've got long enough. I really hope y'all enjoyed this video, and I'll see you on my next one. Bye, y'all.